Rowdy with Stoneface Kennels. Today we're going to be talking about bird launchers, or I guess bird launcher. But anyway, this is the Dogtra. See here? Dogtra. Dogtra. Boom. This is the Dogtra launcher. Dogtra makes launchers in two sizes. They make the size for pheasants and larger birds, and the size for quail and pigeons for the smaller birds. And which I've always kind of thought of pigeons as being a little larger, but nope, you can launch quail and pigeons out of the small launchers just fine, and they both fit perfectly. Anyway, this is my number 2 launchers. I actually have 2 launchers. This is the second one. You can see, do a turn around here. Springs. Nothing. Now I'll tell you this, the way this works is, when you have it set out in the field, let's see if I can set this up and show you guys how to do it. When you have it set out in the field, you pretty much just, you put a bird in it, right? And to put a bird in it, you put them in from the top like this, and this cradle rocks inward. When this cradle rocks inward, you fold a bird up into it. Oh, I'm sorry. So, see here? You put a bird into it, and it folds down in, and the bird is cradled inside, see? When the bird is cradled inside, you have this latch that goes over. And you can see this part, this bent up part, it goes over the top here, and it actually holds those down, see? So it holds the cradle down. Move this foil out of place, put it back. I think the launcher is now set. The way you launch is this arm right here, this lever here, this is activated to roll backwards. When we roll backwards, this wheel rolls over this, and whenever it rolls over, this swings back, which leaves no pressure on the cradle whatsoever. See? So whenever it goes like this, see? This folds back over, relieves the pressure from the cradle, and the cradle pops open like this. Okay? I know it's kind of hard to see, I'm sorry. I'm doing this just me and kind of in an awkward position, but so this cradle moves back, slings that open, that leaves the cradle to come up. Now this arm here has a little hole. I don't know if you can see that hole right there. Let me see if I can get it closer. See this hole right here? Okay. You have a pin. What I do is I put the bird in, lock it all up, set it all up, turn it on, and then to make sure it doesn't launch, you keep that pin in there at all times. Then whenever you have it set up where you want it, all that good stuff, you pull this out, and it is armed. Okay, and it's a good idea to keep it in because it's funny, man. You just set this down a little hard, or it gets bumped or something, and that will, the wheel will roll over. It's rather sensitive. So, back in here. So that would be a totally armed, well, it's off right now. The way you turn it on is with this button right here. You'll see a green light when I push it on. Ready? It's on. You can watch it blink, see? I mean, it's on. So right now, this is a totally armed, but it is locked. So right now, it's unlocked, and it's armed. If there was a bird in there right now, it would be launchable. Okay, totally live. Now the way this works from this angle is, see, this is the tensioner, okay? So if you as you unscrew this or screw it, tighten it, loosen it, whatever, then it moves this wing nut up and down. When it's up here, there's less tension, meaning the springs aren't as open. So if the springs aren't as open, when there's not as much tension, it doesn't launch the bird quite as hard. Some people, some professionals, don't like don't like the it to really launch them. It likes more of a natural flush. So what they'll do is they'll replace these with really low tension springs. That way it's more like it opens instead of launches. But the way this works is you can see these levers here on the end. This is fully tensioned right now. Whenever, oh, I better put this in so it don't snap me in the face. The way this works is whenever that wheel rolls back, releases the tension off of here, the spring pulls the lever downward, and when these come downward like a teeter-totter, the insides rock up, and that's what springs it open. So I may be spending too much time on this, but I just want to make sure everybody gets it. I actually modified my last one and put a bolt underneath here, so the wing nut is underneath here. That way it'll launch higher. But this is the QL launcher. Okay, you can see right here it says QL. This is a microphone. I guess you could call it a microphone. And here on the transmitter, I'll show you how to use that microphone here in a minute. You have the left button, the right button, the beeper call, the duck call, and on top you have from 1 through 8. Okay, and actually you can work 16 launchers off this one. And the way that works is, well, that's where this left and right come into play, because they have cables. You see here on the side, they have cables that if I had 2 launchers, okay, I could plug a cable into here. Open it up real fast so you guys can see. See? You can plug cable into there and plug it into another one. Okay? Then the left activates the left end, or one end of the wire, and the right would activate the other on level 1, on unit 1 or frequency 1, whatever you want to call it. Then you go to number 2. Maybe number 2 has 2 launchers connected between a line. Okay, well then one would be the left launcher, one would be the right launcher. Just default though, if you don't have them connected, like right now, if I was to hit this left, it would launch this one if I have it on 2, because this is my second launcher. Okay, this actually comes in 2 pieces here. Okay, the first piece is the launcher itself, the actual cradle and the basket and all that good stuff. And then the second part is this electronic control. If you see here, the electronic control hooks into this thing, which has a hydraulic that pulls the arm, the lever, which releases the wheel, which releases the cradle and throws the bird in the air. So anyway, if you want to hear the beep and then the duck, the beep sounds like this. Okay, and then the duck, you just press it. That you have to hold down for the beep. For the duck, you just hold it down, or you just press it once, and it goes. And you can hear these from a long way off. So anyway, let me take this out real fast. Make sure it's in. Been a few times when I've unlocked it, it's launched. So we can push this off a little bit now, and we can watch how this launches. 3, 2, 1. Okay? Everybody get that? Now I'll show you how to load a bird into it and how to launch it with the bird. Alright, here's my bird. And here's the launcher. Now the way I do this is I always put the bird in pointed in this direction with relation to the launcher. See, I want his head faced towards the release bar here, and his tail feathers more over here towards the receiver. The reason I do this is so I can tell which way in the field the bird is pointed. So say I plant the bird and the wind's blowing one direction, and I go out to work the bird, and then my dog goes on point. After the wind changes directions, he's actually, say for some reason he came across at an awkward position and he's 5 foot in front of the bird, and the bird is faced right to him. Well, I go and look at the launcher, I can tell which way the bird's facing exactly. I know he's facing this way and not that way because by default I have his tail feathers over here and his head over here. And I can just put my foot down there and just spin that around before I launch. That's a good tip. So here, this is how we close this up. We just set the bird in the top here. You can kind of see, I just set the bird in the top here and push it down. And as I push it down, I reach up with my other hand. Sorry about that. I reach up with my other hand and I start to close. And as I start to close, he just goes in real nicely. Flip it over. Lock it. It's on. It's armed. It's ready to go. Put it in tall cover. I like to mark my my launchers that way, because if you use this one of these sounds every single time you go out, say you lose track of a bird, you hit the beep. You lose track of a bird, you hit a beep. You lose track of a bird, hit a beep. Well, then if you're out in the field and you lose track of a bird and you hit a beep, your dog's gonna go, I know what that sound means. He's gonna run right to the bird. So you don't necessarily want that. Some trainers, I guess, use it to teach their dogs to point. That's not really my thing. But the way I mark, a good tip is you don't want to put the mark right by the launcher, okay? That's a bad move. You don't want to make it too obvious, because if your dog points a bird and right above the bird every time is a blaze orange or a white marker on a fence or in a tree, well, then he's going to start looking out in the field and looking for those markers. So what you want to do is maybe you know, hang it on a tree that's, I don't know, 30 yards south or 30 yards west or wherever from your launcher. That way, you know, when the dog goes on point, he doesn't really notice the marker. Another good idea is to set yourself up, you know, make like a line. So say you're at the pigeon coop and you're going to put out 2 launchers, so you pick a location in the distance. So for example, say I had picked this tree right here, okay? Then what I can do is I know that my pigeon coop is right here, and I know that tree's right out there. And if I draw a perfect line from one to the other, I can set 2 traps out right on that line that goes from the pigeon coop to that tree. Those are my markers. So if the dog works a bird or whatever, I get sidetracked off the way, and you know, I don't exactly know where that second bird is, well, then what I can do is I can go walk over till I'm right in between those 2, and then turn and start walking towards the second launcher. That way I have a better idea of where it's at. Those are just a couple of things that I do personally whenever I'm setting my launchers up. So let me get this set back a little bit. That's not working. There we go. Okay, so this is officially set. Let me get something to push it back with. Okay, we're going to take out this okay. Let me pick you guys up here. Okay. Now then, on the count of 3, I'm going to launch this bird. 1, 2, 3. That's as simple as that. So, if you have any questions or anything, please post. If you have any tips, anything like that, please post. If you would like one of these launchers, you can get a hold of me. You can go to my website, which is stonefacekennels.com. You can get a hold of me through there. My email is power, P-O-W-E-R, dog, D-O-G, supply, S-U-P-P-L-Y, at yahoo.com. You can get a hold of me on Facebook under Rowdy, R-O-W-D-Y, Harris, H-A-R-R-I-S, or if you'd rather go a different route, you can go to gundogsupply.com, GUNDOGSUPPLY.com. I'll tell you what, it's owned by Steve Snell, and that guy's absolutely phenomenal. He's a wonderful person. The company is man, they treat people like they should be treated. So if you need anything, absolutely anything, get a hold of me or get a hold of Gun Dog Supply. Absolutely, absolutely the best. Right there. See, advertise for them any and absolutely every chance I can. They're a wonderful company, and they treat bird doggers the way bird doggers need to be treated to get the job done. And like it says right there, we train our dogs with the products we sell. And Steve is about as blue collar, get out there and get money as you can get. So there it is. If anything, give me a holler. Have a nice day.